What's up, cannabis connoisseurs? How is everybody? This is Jessica with Backdoor Marketing. How is it going? Okay, so we are waiting for the lovely Nicole Aniston to come on the line. It is 4:19. I'm pretty excited. All right. So you guys are welcome to join in and ask questions. I would absolutely love it. If you guys have any questions to come in. Oh, there we go. Nicole Aniston is waving right now, and she is joining us. Nicole Aniston. Okay, so Nicole, you just have to request to join the live. There we go. View request. What's up, Tony? Hi, what's up, Prime? Nice to see you guys.
Oh, there it
Yay,
goes.
what's up, girl? How are you?
Really great. How are you?
I'm good. I need you to, there you go. There you go, perfect. All right, guys. So today we have the lovely Nicole Aniston with us. She's going to be talking to us a little bit about CBD, THC, psilocybin mushrooms, and all of that good stuff. So I know you've got a bunch of cool stuff in the pipeline. Nicole, you want to give yourself a little bit of an introduction for us?
I'm Nicole. I got my start in the adult industry about 10 or so years ago, and I ventured into cannabis about 5 or 6 years ago, and it just kind of spiraled from there. I've always had great experiences with cannabis, and some that were perceived as negative at the time, but that were really not. They were really amazing and necessary. You know, the paranoia and all that good stuff. But they've always been really, really great. That's pretty much where I'm at. Everybody kind of knows my story.
So, all right, so let me ask you something. What made you want to get into the THC cannabis culture in the first place?
I started a couple years back with very low dose edibles, very, very low dose edibles that I found when I went on a trip to Colorado, and I was at the peak of my anxiety and travel stresses and family and scheduling, and it was just it was mania. So I found those, and I found that I was sleeping better than I had in years, and everything was just kind of melting away for me. And I thought, wow, people need to know about this. So
Right.
I started on these really tiny edibles. Then I got into CBD oil, and it's become part of my life now. It's just part of my routine.
So let's talk about your routine. What do you do, like, from morning to night? I know that you and I were talking a little bit earlier about a line that you're going to be coming up with, which I'm going to touch on in just a second. But from your morning routine down to the evening and going to bed at night. So what is your daily routine now that you've kind of worked it out for yourself?
Now it's, I get up and I do I have what I call the lineup of beverages every morning. And sorry, my camera's kind of jiggly. I'm right at my exit right now, so
No worries.
I'm headed out to Palm Springs to look at this amazing facility. I'm so excited. So my morning starts with charcoal, lemon water, and salt. I pretty much start my day that way every single day. Tons of water, a lot of like remineralizing and rehydrating as soon as I wake up. Then I go to a digestive one with some MSM, and then I take my Shilajit and my C60 and my CBD and all of my supplements and stuff like that. I've been pretty much, I've been starting to do some lymphatic exercises and some movements in the morning to kind of get things wake up my body, wake up my body processes, and that's been really awesome. And then pretty much it's just I kind of get my day started with meditation, stretching, and getting ready to work out. If I'm working out that day.
And then what are the lines that you're coming up with now? I know that you just started getting into CBD and THC. So you were telling me a little bit about tinctures, are you coming up with a strain on your own, or is it a beverage or supplement?
It's going to be a little bit of everything. We started really hardcore into the CBD, and I think that probably has a little bit more relevance and timeliness in the necessity right now for wellness and sleep tinctures and just getting something right now that will help them detoxify,
Mm-hmm.
pass, work on their, sharpening that immune system, especially getting into the colder months, and just starting their day right. And I feel like a lot of people could use these proprietary blends. I feel like every body could and will benefit from these blends. It's just like anything else. It's good to start slow. It's good to start, with your own situation in mind. If you have pre-existing stuff going on, of course, check your doctor before starting. But park here. There's no way. I'm gonna trust no way it's gonna fit. But so the tinctures that we'll be starting with under my brand called Atana we'll have a morning, an evening, and an immunity formula. They're amazing. There's nothing like them in existence right now, and so we've been putting these together over probably the last 8 months or so. And
How exciting!
we're starting there. We're really excited, yeah. And then we're moving slowly into a 2021 launch of cannabis products. Some CBD and THC edibles and things like that. We really want to do some really cool pre-rolls under the line and kind of focus on the inclusion and the camaraderie in the cannabis community.
Very cool. Are you going to be coming out with your own strain?
Hopefully in the future. Yeah, we're gonna cultivate a lot of just, genetics that aren't really out there yet and kind of help, blend those into some, probably starting out with some limited edition pre-rolls, that are probably rolled in keef and have some oil in them as well. So you get a little more, I guess, punch for your pound.
Right?
A little bang for your buck, a little more bang
That's
for
a way
your
to
buck.
put it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, what made you start getting into this in the first place? So, I know that you said that there's basically a shift happening in the world right now, and people need something, and we all have our demons. We all have things we battle with, may it be emotionally or physically. And I think that THC and CBD can really help these things. But what was it that made you want to get into this in the first place?
I think seeing the transition in, the necessity for natural wellness products being in such a high demand, and knowing that when I was pursuing wellness and health, physical health and mental health, I didn't want to go see a therapist that was going to potentially address my issues in a traditional manner. I felt like I felt like I had the innate ability to, kind of recognize the contrast in wellness versus where I was at when I started smoking and enjoying cannabis. So I was like, okay, if I use this and I'm sleeping better, I'm waking up rested, I'm waking up fulfilled and ready to actually, rather than going 2-3 hours a night and then having to travel all day and not being able to face what was underlying that was preventing me from enjoying my life fully. And so seeing that transition for me in such a short period of time, and then, my mom, who's had a lot of some health issues and some spinal complications, as well as multiple surgeries, getting her into pain management with cannabis rather than the traditional kind of pharmaceutical route has been really great. And everybody I've talked to usually starts with cannabis and then they transition into something a little heavier, like psilocybin and psychedelics and things like that, to kind of dig a little deeper.
So I know we were talking on the phone a little bit earlier, you guys. So if we touch on some subjects that were kind of picked up from an earlier conversation, Nicole and I were actually talking about psilocybin mushrooms, and now that they're being decriminalized in so many places, it's really exciting about the implications that they may have, or what we may discover they're good for, medically, emotionally. So I think we both played around with those, correct?
Yes.
Safe to say.
Definitely. And it's an ongoing thing for me. I feel like, it's not going to be forever. I probably won't I may not always use mushrooms, but while I can, while I've got them, while I know that I need work, I'm going to continue to allow that into my psyche and allow my brain to be malleable, because I don't ever want to stop learning. And I feel like until I've kind of probably reached the end of my learning experience, which I'll probably be ready to transition on to the next realm, I'm here to learn. And as much as I can do that and facilitate that, even if it's with, you know, an incredible little plant, I'm going to use that to assist myself and to allow myself to open up.
I found it extremely transformable. Like in my own life, I think that there's a point in time, anybody's experiences in mushrooms, when you kind of have a hard trip, and some people take that as a bad trip, but it's just a point that, in my opinion, guys, and this is just Jessica from Backdoor Marketing giving an opinion, but in my opinion, that's something that you need to work through, not working against. So people that said they don't like it, it's usually because they're not ready to face whatever's surfacing, you know.
Yeah.
But Nicole, I have a very special proposition for you, and I'm wondering if you would like to oblige. I have. So we're going to be starting, so this is also for all of viewers listening, we are going to be starting a NUGL podcast. So we've got a studio, we're going to be opening back up again since COVID is, I'm going to say it's dwindling down, but we're going to be starting the podcast very soon in the studio. And I would love to invite you to be my first guest in the studio and microdose with me live.
I love that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Love that. Yeah, I'm so down. That sounds like guys, amazing.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. Yeah. So Jessica and Nicole Aniston are going to be microdosing. You and I will definitely get on the phone and work out a good time and day for that. But let's get back into something now. You and I were talking a little bit earlier about working out on THC. That is something I have not ventured into. I have zero experience in it because, quite frankly, it's like the opposite of anything on my mind. Tell me about that. How does that even work?
So that started, it was just like years ago, and somebody mentioned, oh, you got to work out you got to be high when you're working out. I'm like, you crazy? And then I tried it.
Wow.
And I was stunned. And the more I practiced it in a safe environment, you know, I'm not smoking a whole joint or taking a 100 milligram cookie. I mean, I'm doing it in a very reasonable sense. But I'm definitely high when I'm working out. And it's just about every workout now, unless I've only got 20 minutes to just run my ass off until I get in the shower and go off to my next adventure. But for the most part, I'm high throughout my whole workout. I'm more flexible, I have more stamina, and I have far more connection to my mind-muscle connection is really, really strong. And I've noticed on the days that I don't smoke and I go to target a certain area, like for me, glutes and hams, legs and glutes, I cannot activate very well, very easily. And I've tried a million different techniques, and I started using cannabis maybe 3 years ago during my workouts, and it's been intense. It's I don't know, it's incredible. It's like its own form of pre-workout.
Yeah, does it give you more energy? Because I couldn't imagine it giving you more energy. I would almost imagine it maybe in a meditative state or doing yoga, something like that. But you're saying that it actually helps you engage like major muscle groups.
Yeah, definitely. As far as like my cardio goes too, I've really made sure to smoke and to be real high on my strong cardio days. So I'm actually, doing high intensity intervals, a lot of mobility stuff, because it helps you, in my experience, connect with your body and be very aware of your movements and moving properly. So for me, it's been a key component in making sure that I'm doing things safely and accurately in really good, slow, controlled movement, and developing a lot of the core strength that I have never had. So, but yeah, the mobility, my flexibility even has improved, because when you're high and you're stretching, after having worked out, you're like, I'm flexible as fuck. I don't even care, You're like, I can do anything. But you're sore, and you're sore the next day. Like I've noticed in the days I smoke, I am sore if I weight train. But, man, my stamina is just insane. I mean, I'll be in my local gym, and the gym owner knows I'm like, they know that I'm high and stuff, so they're just like, oh, there she goes. Like, I've usually got on the shirt with like a spaceship on it, and my hair's in a big nasty bun. but I'm so connected, and I'm present, and I'm more aware, more self-aware, and I'm more aware and considerate of the space of others. And it helps me just kind of navigate my way through the gym, be considerate and mindful. And when I put my focus onto something, and I've got the right music, because I'm an audiophile, so I've got the right music and I'm just into it. It's so intense, and it really does amplify my workouts.
That sounds amazing. Well, see, now I want to do a whole other podcast. I'm like, let's go work out. Let's go work out on high.
It's so awesome. It feels so good.
Okay, so let's reel it back over to your line that you're coming out with. So when should we expect something like this? What do you think the first products are going to be? Where would we be able to find it? Are you going to be e-commerce, or do you think you're going to go storefront?
I ideally want to go storefront with the tinctures. The tinctures will be the first to launch. So the CBD, THC free tinctures that'll just kind of give people a kickstart, both their immune systems, their cannabinoid receptors, everything, just kind of getting everything revamped and ready for the rest of the ingredients in these that are really going to help trigger wellness in the user. So I really want to get those. Those will be out first. And then the THC line probably around mid-February. We're leaning towards a February 14th. In the name of love,
nice.
we're leaning for a Valentine's Day launch for some of the cannabis products, just to kind of give us a little bit of a boost and stuff. But
that sounds amazing. I'm super excited for you.
Thank you. That's kind of the timeline with stuff, and so slowly I'm just kind of working on networking and branching out, kind of lurking on the social media side of Atana to kind of build some anticipation for the product.
So let's talk about some of the ingredients that you have in your product, because I know that you mentioned a little while ago that you have some really special key ingredients that you don't have to tell any of the super secret ingredients if you don't want to, but I would love to know some of the things that differentiate your CBD from the other brands that are out there. And THC.
Yeah, I love, like, the THC is kind of in the works. The CBD tinctures will have ingredients like C60, which is a really important molecule for rejuvenation and DNA, maintaining the telomeres in the DNA and really making sure that we maintain our longevity and our wellness as long as possible. So
I just want to keep my telomeres as long as possible, girl.
As long as possible. I want to keep them
lengthened.
Those shortened telomeres really kick us, into the grave sooner. So, but so the C60, it's not frequently used, but it has been, widely studied enough to prove that it's really beneficial for human health and longevity. So that's a key ingredient. A few of the others will have shilajit and zeolites, which are great for cellular repair, mitochondrial repair.
Now, what is shilajit? Shilajit is one I don't know either.
It's a super duper mineral rich, thick, like a blackish brown resin. It's very potent, very strong, but it easily dissolves in a hot beverage. Like, I'll take mine in like a resin form, and it's strong stuff, but it's like fulvic acid. So it's a really nutrient or mineral rich, very dense substance that is pretty crucial.
Now, does this substance, you said it's tar-like, and you kind of, I assume that it was some sort of extract from some sort of a cannabis, or is it an extract of cannabis?
No, it's just a mineral.
Oh, it's a mineral. Okay.
Yeah, it's fulvic acid, so it's a mineral.
Well, this is so interesting. There's so many ingredients in it that I have not heard in anything else. And I mean, that's amazing. So who have you been working with to get all of these ingredients together? Is this research that you've been doing on your own?
This is research that I've been doing on my own, partnering with an amazing FDA certified organic laboratory that has the same value system that I do. We really want to get healthy, clean, organic products out to people as widely spread as possible and get as many people, taking better proactive care of their wellness and longevity. So they know, I want to be able to show people, demonstrate very easily what each ingredient does, how they can take them, and how they'll benefit in the long-term process of continuing to take these supplements. They're really, really important for well-being, and I keep saying longevity, and detoxification, it's really, really important. So same thing with like zeolites. It's, for me, in my perspective, it's right up there with shilajit. It's
and zeolites are?
It's a mineral powder.
as
It's
well?
a
Okay.
very, very fine powder, but really important for just everything from the microbiome and kind of repairing damage, detoxifying. It pulls heavy metals out of the body. So that's something that a lot of people really need right now. We're kind of inundated with heavy metals, and the
Yep.
accumulation does lead to degenerative disease. So thinking that far ahead, thinking about people that now have the mineral or the lack of minerals and the accumulations of microplastic particles, aluminum particles, and heavy metals, they need to be filtered out no matter what. Our bodies will do that with the right assistive herbal supplements and things like that, but we sometimes need to give our bodies a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a help.
Right. I have a strong inkling that you are big on supplements.
Yeah.
Besides the THC, besides the psilocybin, besides the CBD. So
Yeah.
give me a little bit of your rundown of your supplement and vitamin regimen. Because by the way, you have fantastic skin. So let me just put
Thank
that out there right
you.
now. Like, give me what you got.
Thank you.
What do you use?
I'm exfoliation, first of all. Thank God for
Yeah.
exfoliation. But supplement wise, I do the spirulina,
Mm-hmm.
blue green algae. I take a magnesium supplement at night, which is really important. So like a lot of magnesium blends, I actually kind of take those throughout the day. I take a B12. I take a lot of B12. I take about 5,000 and 10,000 micrograms a day. I take a B complex with the full lineup of Bs. A lot of other stuff as well. Most of the foods that I eat, besides, if I'm out at a restaurant or something, I'm totally plant-based, but most of the foods I eat at home are superfoods, are micronutrient, really, really rich micronutrient type foods, so that I'm not having to eat huge amounts, but I'm getting everything my body needs. And so with the supplements and stuff, it's just the things that I wouldn't necessarily get from my diet, like B12, something vegans aren't going to get. We have to
Right.
supplement. But otherwise, gosh, I take like a garlic echinacea supplement that kind of helps throughout the winter months, keep your immune systems robust and healthy. Let's see, what else do I
You
take? I
probably have a
take chickpea.
superfood breakfast, don't you?
I do, yes. I have like my shake every morning. It is full of just all kinds of crazy shit that you've never even heard of. And I'm like, yeah, put it in there.
Yeah. I was
So
doing a
like,
superfood shake for a long time in the morning, and I called it my sludge because it tasted absolutely awful, and it was either brown or dark green, and I don't care. I would just chug it down.
yes.
But so, what is yours? I would love to hear this.
Oh my God. Well, like wrapping up supplements, it's just like D3, K2, Bs. I mean, just basic stuff. But my shake in the morning, I usually do a ton of greens, half a banana, raspberries, a little bit of this like protein powder that I have that I actually really like if I'm about to hit the gym. So I like to have protein before and protein after. And then what else has got in it? What I do is I have these little refillable glass jars, and I fill them up with the powder so that I've got like 15 days in a row. So they're all stocked in the thing. Zeolites, camu, moringa, hemp seeds, chia seeds,
That's a really good
maca.
idea. That's a
It's
really good
great.
idea. Just putting the powders in it like ahead of
Yeah.
time in a bunch of little jars.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
just do
might start
that. I
doing that.
save all my yogurt jars are glass and they're great. And then I just stack them in there. And then every morning I go out, put the jar in there. But it's a ton of these and flaxseed. I love ground flaxseed. So I'll either grind it myself or buy the little ground flaxseed powder and put that in my shake. And it's amazing. It's super good. But I also
Um,
do coconut water so that it's
yeah.
yummy. It's not yucky at all. It's really good.
No. It looks yucky. It always looks yucky. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you do it right, it tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, so when did you first start? When did you first start experimenting in THC? And I'm assuming we're all legacy smokers, right? Like we all tried THC and CBD and mushrooms and stuff like that before, while they were still legacy, correct? So when did you start? When did you start sort of experimenting with that? And what was your first experience like? And of course, we never take it for the right reasons initially, but then we find the right reasons as we go, right? So
Yeah.
what was that progression like for you?
For me, THC started with, oh, I'm so tired. I just want to sleep, and I want to just cap off the day and know that I'm fully rested and well. And so, finding these little edibles, I smuggled them back to California from Colorado when I was there. I had this big. There's a guy next to me. Sorry. There's a big bundle. There was a big bundle of my smuggled back, and I enjoyed those for a while. And then, kind of being around other people that were smoking, I was like, all right, I gotta try it. Of course, I tried a shotgun hit off a joint at a party. It was the worst. I coughed my brains out. But as I experimented more and more with edibles and then getting into smoking, I just noticed, like, when I would get high, even if it was just a little bit high, my body relaxed and my thought patterns changed. And it was not at all in the same what I was used to, the linear fashion of my thoughts.
Right.
And I stepped back when I was sober again and thought, that's interesting. That is obviously something that's going to be a catalyst for me to better thoughts when I'm not high. And that's exactly what it did, was the continual use and the practice of being present in the high, and whatever was to develop out of that high was going to be what I was intended to get. And so I just stuck with it. That's
Sorry,
okay.
I'm just kind of moving that really quick. I realized as the sun's gone down and I have this blazing light up at me, and I'm like, why do I look like a demon?
The sun goes down, yeah.
The sun goes down and then the light is pointing straight up in my face. Okay, so no, agreed, totally agreed. I think that you kind of, at first you do it because it's fun and it's there and people offer you and stuff, but the takeaway from it is always so valuable. The takeaway from it at the end of the day is like, I actually feel a lot better today. My body feels clear. And I'm specifically talking about psilocybin because I think that's what helped me the most. But it's like the next day, the days following, you have these thoughts, these profound ideas and stuff on it. And I think sometimes we're used to having these ideas or having this motivation at the time, and then the next day you kind of forget about it, or what was that conversation? But the takeaway from psilocybin and from THC is so profound. You walk away the next day, a week later, you're still thinking about those things. They kind of still sit with you.
For sure. And I've made it a really strong point, because my accidental stumbling into the introspection of cannabis started out so strongly that I said, okay, I'm going to keep a journal. I have to start writing this stuff down, because I can't let it slip, because I've had a couple of those where it slips, and then I'm like, where did that concept go? Where did that realization go? I need to recall that information and then assimilate it later on when I can really consider its worth and its depth. So I started doing that, and I've kept the journal kind of since I've been using it, and also getting into studying mediumship and tarot cards and divination, Reiki, and energy healing and things like that. It's been a tremendous source of insight and self-discovery. So it's been really fun.
It's very connecting. And I think it's really connecting to the people that you're with as well. It sort of makes you more introspective, but also empathetic to the people that you're with at the moment. Maybe see some people's perspectives that otherwise you may have, had a blockage towards.
Yeah, it's literally created an empathic, my true empathic self has been able to finally emerge with the help of cannabis over the years.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about your line, and about the places that we're going to be able to find it. So you said that you're going to start putting it into stores. Do you think you're going to have a brick and mortar? Like, are you going to actually have a location?
I think what we'll do is, or what I would like to do is get it into locations where I can physically go and show up.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to do, especially at all of the locations that do decide to carry the Atana brand, I want to spend a day, do, a special event or a meet and greet or something, like some kind of a special attraction type of draw to the dispensary, to the location. And just kind of, work with the employees, show them how to dose it properly, what the ingredients do, so that they can explain very thoroughly to customers coming in who might not know what lysine is, or might not know what C60 does specifically. And you kind of have to be able to know it very thoroughly to explain what it does, because some of the things are like, what? I've never heard of that. And you don't want
Right.
people to think it's snake oil. You want them to really trust in the ingredients and know that it's going to be beneficial for them. So I want to go physically and be there, do a meet and greet, and, have it be an attraction and bring customers in and show them the product and how it works and what the benefits will be based on, the ingredients that they're um, they have in each formula. So
That's such a good idea. That really is.
that's
That's such a great
that's how I
idea.
want to start. Sorry, it's getting kind of dark in here.
Oh, it's
The sun's
okay.
going down. So that's where I want to start. I want to start there at dispensaries that already have CBD products, because I know these will stand out on a shelf, both with their packaging and the ingredients will stand alone. And so I want to make sure that the employees at each location know the product very well and know that I'm passionate enough to show up physically to represent the product.
We're super excited to help you however we can. We're going to be starting the podcast pretty soon here at NUGL, which we have just announced. For those of you who just joined us, Nicole Aniston has agreed to microdose me on camera for our very first podcast with NUGL. But besides that, as you guys know, we have NUGL Magazine, we have the map. So we have an interactive map that essentially will tag everywhere that your product is located. So if you have it at 10 different dispensaries, you can tag your product at the map at 10 different dispensaries so that anybody can find your product in whatever city they're in.
That's so
And then, of
cool.
course, we have NUGL Magazine that we can always feature your products in. We're super excited to work with you. I think that this is going to be an amazing business venture. I love all the all the ingredients that you have listed so far. I think that it's just going to be fantastic to have a product like this coming from somebody who cares, who's in it for the right reasons. And you seem super passionate.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the effects on my life and the lives that have also started to take these products separately, not in an inclusive, single formula, but now it's like blending all of these things that I've tried and tested for years. It just makes sense to combine it with CBD. That way it's not all these different supplements, just having to take one thing
Right.
and, for each specific purpose. I think it'll be great. But no, I'm super excited too. I can't wait
Yeah.
to work with you guys, and I can't wait to microdose with you. That's going to be a lot of fun.
So I think that we have got to wrap it up. I try to keep it under half an hour here, but it's so fun to talk to you.
Same.
So Nicole, I am super excited. We're going to work out a date that we can get into the studio together. But as soon as those products are ready to launch, Nuggle's going to be here for you, putting it in the magazine, on the podcast, and our social media, and email blast, and we got you, girl. Like
That's
whatever you
awesome.
need, we got you.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm so grateful.
Absolutely. So to all of you out in cannabis land listening to us, thank you so much for joining us at Backdoor Marketing with Jessica. I'm your host, Jessica. This is the lovely Nicole Aniston. Nicole, thank you so much for being here, and we will talk to you very soon.
For sure. Thanks for having me. Have a great weekend, guys.
You too. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.